Welcome to the B word. This is something that you never heard. We'll give you real type of fantasy. Pick up your feet and just share with me.
Yo, it's me. They call me B. I love to talk, but not for free. About some clothes, about some D. Go grab your drink and have a seat. Press that like and hit that share, cause I'ma take you anywhere. This my story, watch and see. Now come enjoy this ride with B. Hey. Hey y'all, welcome back to the B word. I have a guest, as you can see. This is my dad, David Fashoda. Say hi to the people.
Hello.
So we're just
Podcast.
gonna dig right podcast life. You know, we got our drinks. He got cigars and stuff. We sitting on the deck. This is the elitist club over here.
Very nice setting. Background ain't that great, but
Yeah, we should face
the other
that
angle
way.
is better.
But it's
This
okay.
is cool.
It's all
This
right.
is, you get the primaries here.
Right, you get the gist. So today I wanted to talk about interracial dating.
Well, we've been married 22 years, so
Right.
we've been around, you know.
22 years. You dated for not long. I think he proposed like within 4
We met in May
months.
and we got married in February, so it's 9 months.
Fast. You hear that, guys?
Pretty fast.
You see how do you
Met
think-
on May 3rd of 97, got married
you know the dates?
February 14th, Valentine's Day of 98.
So
and
did you
we
just
had
know?
our daughter in May 9th of 99, so 2 years and 6 days later. It's an easy way to remember everything and don't forget. Plus, we got married on Valentine's Day, so
Yeah, that's easy.
it's kind of easy.
So did you know? Because I hear like some of the guys at work, they say, you know, like it took me. I was with my wife for 11 years or 17 years. So how did you propose like 3 months in? So how did you?
I guess I knew. I met her at a Mason's party on 75th and Ingleside. I had a liquor store on the south side, west side, more or less west side of Chicago, Laramie. I was working there since I was a junior at Lane Tech. My father owned the store since the late 60s. I'm the youngest of 7 kids, but he had the store probably, well, let me see if he had the store all that time. I don't think anybody else, I'm not sure who else worked at the store. My other 2 brothers did, but they didn't like it that much. I liked it immediately when I got there. You couldn't get me out. It was by the time I started working there, it was an all-black neighborhood. It was like Irish and Italian when my father had got the liquor store. There was a police station 2 blocks away. So, but it was an all-black neighborhood, but a middle-class black neighborhood.
Right.
It wasn't a bad neighborhood. We were on Chicago Avenue. I always considered Madison Avenue like the cut line. It was always a little more dangerous. Madison was a little more
crossroad.
serious. Yeah, I mean they were standing
It's
around.
still that way.
Right. They were, I mean, not to say that they weren't working on the corners and shit, but it was a little. It wasn't. It was a soft, nice, little cushiony spot. You know, I mean, it wasn't. You know, didn't seem to be. You know,
Right.
I was never threatened, no matter where I was. Anyhow, I always
So you
felt
always
right in
felt
place.
comfortable?
Never. Right. Being in a black neighborhood had no effect on me at all. I never looked at anybody like, you know, I was white and they were black. I felt I was welcomed. I never, you know, they're always going to have some people who, you know, you get into an argument with them or they don't like you just because you're white. You know what I mean? And then you had a lot of Arab people moving in, and they used to come in with an attitude, you know what I mean? Which was strange to me. But where they came from, I guess that was the way they were brought up, and you know, wherever they were coming from, it was a little rougher. You know, we're pretty soft over there compared to where they come in. So they came in with an edge. So they, you know, and I don't think they still dominate a lot of black neighborhoods. You know, I mean, the same way that Chinese people or whatever, Chinese food and cleaners and stuff like that, and or now you got the place you do your nails, the nail shops and the manicures and pedicures are all Chinese places now. It's unbelievable how they corner a market. Like, what is going on here? So
Smart.
But
So there was no pressure growing up. Like, you have a slight history of dating black women. What is your earliest memory, or, you know, like, where did the attraction come from? Or was it just natural? Or was it like, I'm not dating no white girls? Or just like, man, all the black girls are just beautiful? Like, where did the...
Well, when I was at Lane Tech, I had you know, well, you know, like most people say, that I had no game. And plus, you're 17 years old. I was only
Nobody
around,
has game.
right?
At
I was
17.
only around white women or white people, you know, for most of my childhood. You know, and I went to school. I lived at the same house since I was 2 years old on Monitor and Hirsch, which is right outside Oak Park. We lived there I went to grammar school at Ella Flag Young, which was 4 blocks away. We used to walk to school, come home for lunch, walk back to school, and
dang, you just go home for lunch?
Yeah, we used to watch Bozo Circus and come home and have spaghetti and meatballs or whatever. My mother was, my mother was a stay-at-home mom for all my life when she was married to my father, and they had a bunch of businesses growing up, but she worked wherever they worked.
Traditional Italian family.
Traditional. My mother was Italian. I mean, she's Polish German. My father was 100% Italian. Yeah, she was home all the time when I was growing up, and then I started working at the liquor store, and then I was immersed in the black neighborhood, so then my options changed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not that I had any options when I was in school, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, man, I kept striking out. I didn't go to prom. I think I went
Why
to
you didn't go to prom?
it was 1,000 people graduating, and I didn't have, I had no car, and I caught 2 buses to go to school every morning.
Dang, 2 buses.
Used to take Austin bus to Austin to Addison, and Addison to Western. So
it's a nice little ride.
Yeah, it was about, depending on the weather and everything, it was a good hour. We used to get up, but we never missed any school. My mother wouldn't allow that.
I know the feeling.
My mother never drove a car, so she was a serious stay-at-home mom. And yeah, just come home for lunch and at dinner every night when my father came home at 5 o'clock. He came home. We ate dinner. Everybody ate dinner at the table. Dinner was cooked every night. There wasn't like, I think I'll cook tonight.
No,
Yeah, it was. Everybody sat down and had dinner, and it was great. It was a great environment to grow up in.
It sounded like
the environment that I grew up in, being in the house, it made it easy to start working at the liquor store because there was never any racial talk. It was never even mentioned. And somehow, when I started working at the liquor store, it was never even an issue. I don't ever remember it being me being different from them. And I can only say that had something to do with the way I was raised. That we weren't raised in an environment. Racism, I suppose, is taught at home.
Definitely. Well, I think so. I think it definitely starts at home.
It generates. Yeah. So my father was a completely open person and a great guy. Always was. I had my issues with my father growing up. Credit-wise and the way he ran his business, I used to hate it. I'm like, Dad, why are you doing? They're not going to pay you. Wind up.
Like giving people breaks
credit.
Like I'll pay you tomorrow.
I'm like, that guy's not going to pay you. Right. Like, don't worry about it.
But you're the same way.
I was 10 times worse than my father when I grew up. I'm like, you did this to me. My father, that's how my father corrupted me. By being
too nice.
Yeah, I guess you could say
nice
too nice. I consider myself to be a nice guy,
I think you are one of the nicer guys. But
so I knew I wanted to marry your mother. I think pretty soon. I went to this party. It was a Mason's party. I went to one of the guy who drove for Frito-Lay.
Frito-Lay, that's a good job.
Tony. He said, man, we should go out. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. He said, Saturday night, man. My wife, she's in this Eastern Star Lodge, and they're having a party, and it's a Mason's thing. And I went there, and we got there, and he said, if you see anybody, you might like, point her out. My wife knows everybody. And your mom was the first one. I said, I'd like to get to know her. And he even joked, I remember. He says, just invite me to the wedding. I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? And then it turns out that's the way it was. And
he comes to the wedding?
He did come to the wedding. And that might be the last time I saw him. He had
20-something
He had wife issues. He had issues. I'd like to try to reconnect with him, but I'm not on Facebook or anything like that.
I'm sure we could find if you know his last name.
Yeah, you might. I can't remember her last name.
Facebook.
Yeah, Tony, Anthony. She knows her last name all the time because
yeah. Well, what about when you guys were dating? Like it was the 90s, I guess, late 90s. So it was like, did you guys have any issues? Like when you went out, did people look at you funny? Were there stares? Like,
no, when we went out, it was always your mother's venues all the time.
Oh, so she knew.
Yeah, and anytime, I think black people are a little more accepting of white people than white people are accepting of black people. I'm sorry, that's just the way I've always felt. You know what I mean? And, I'm not, but just there's a little less racism on the black side than there is on the white side. Not that I got it from either end. Like, man, how could you? I don't ever remember. But there was never any. We never had any real issues that I know of. We were always. Your mother. We were working people. Hanging out.
Good people.
Just good people.
Honest
Right.
people. Just
right. I mean, if you're a dick, you're gonna find some problems somewhere.
Either way, no matter what color you are. Shoot. It's gonna come out.
So I know
either
that's
way.
white Zinfandel, and I looked at it. This is all I had right now. And
Sorry.
it's a little.
Otherwise, we are very, very strong drinkers over here.
Yes,
But you know,
right,
we're just chilling.
Well,
We're
strong.
just
You know,
chilling.
I can drink.
We're
just about
strong
anything.
drinkers. He's a little. Lightweight.
I'm a lightweight. Yeah, a little bit.
I am too now. Now that I don't drink as
built
much.
up my tolerance pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I have. I can hang, but I know I just have a shutdown. You know, I can shut down right away. And when I shut down, I shut down. Like, if you're at home, if it's a party, you know, and you look around, you say, "What happened?" I'm like, "Yeah, he went to sleep."
Right. That's me too.
I'm not like, it's my party and I'm gonna stay up. No, your mom would cover for me. She
Definitely.
And you can't hang. She's the last. Well, she's the last one to get there. She's the last one to leave. That's
Right.
the problem. You know what I mean? When we used to go out, when we first started going out, we didn't leave till like 11 or 11 o'clock, and she could
To get there.
To get there.
Oh
to
no.
Go. Yeah. So it was like we were getting So we were getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning. But you know, I was young, and you know, we were really, you know, attracted to each other. So there was always a, you know, the end of the night wrap up was always a.
You know, me, Kobe, and Teron have a group chat. Those, if y'all don't know, if y'all don't remember, that's my siblings. I was telling them, I had jokingly texted them like, do y'all realize, well, not Kobe so much, but Teron, mainly to him, but I was like, do you realize Mommy used to take us over Daddy's house to spend the night? I was like, ain't that some crazy stuff? He's like, she did? I'm like, yeah, you don't remember that? He's like, no, not really. I'm like, yeah, that's how we got introduced to beef fried rice. Because we used to always eat some other, I don't know what kind of Chinese food it was, but it wasn't shrimp because Teron was allergic to seafood.
Oh, that's right.
So you was like, oh, we can do beef fried. I'm like, what the heck is this beef fried rice? I never even heard no beef fried rice. But it's like, you think about it now, it's like when you're dating somebody, like, you don't take your kids to spend the night.
Oh,
it's like, that's strange. It's like,
then.
dang, my mom taking me over her boyfriend's house to spend the night. What type of relationship thing? That is some friendly.
I had just moved in an apartment in Oak Park, my first bachelor's apartment. You know what I mean? I had always lived at home or had cohabitated with.
So that was your first place?
Yeah, that was my first place.
First and last.
First and last, right?
Dang.
Didn't even hardly get a chance to break it in. You know what I mean? I broke a couple, but not enough. And then your mother came into the picture, and I had, you know, I was dabbling with some women who were silly enough to have an interest in me, and
hey man, silly. It's...
And then we moved out of that apartment. I just got in there, and this is another funny thing about the differences between certain people, not black and white so much, but the way you were raised. I was raised with carpeting, so when I moved into the apartment, it had a hard floor, and I'm like, hey man, can I put carpeting down there? Right? And
so you put that carpeting?
I put the carpeting. I said, can I put the carpeting down? The guy says, yeah, but you can't take it with you. I'm like, man, I don't care. You know, I had money, and I was like, whatever,
so
man.
once you put it down, they didn't let you
take it out. I had to ask him to put it in. He said, yeah, you can put it in, but it's staying in. I'm like, yeah, I don't.
Well, I get that.
I'm going to be here for a while. Then I let you mind. I'm like, oh, I gotta leave my carpet and everything like that. And so we wound up moving a few times real quickly. We moved into, she was like 111th state, 109th in
Indiana,
Michigan,
one of them.
So I moved out there because she had a bigger place, and I don't even remember how long we stayed there. Not long. We tried.
It wasn't that long.
Made a couple of short moves. Really bad moves.
Bad moves. That place on the north side.
Ruined all my furniture and those moves. Up the stairs, down the stairs. Had to move in. Had to move out. I made one bad decision. Your mother. We co-opted another bad decision with Sandra Efrosinas, and then we moved into Rob's apartment, which is like 2 miles away from here, if it's even that far.
The best.
Yeah, we were there.
Memories.
We were there for like 7 months or 7 years rather, and then we moved over here about 12 years ago.
It's like you was saying, like, you know, you grew up in the same house that you were raised in, like, since you were 2. It's like I never had that. We never had stability. And Titan said, he was like, he said something about renting. He said, Mom, do we stay here or something like that? I'm like, yeah, this is our home. He's like, oh, because at Big Mom and Papa's house, we don't have people over us. And I'm like, well, you know, it's an apartment. So, you know, like, he knows. And he knows that he's come over here and he can ride his bike. You know, not to say that he can't ride his bike over my house, but, you know, it's just different. You know, you grew up in one house, but we never had that growing up in one house. We moved a lot. And I want that for him. I want him to have one house. Well, shoot, this will be his one house for goodness sake. So everything's going on. It's just like, you know, you have interracial kids. Well, not interracial kids, biracial kids. You know, your kids' mothers are black. Was there ever any conversation or ever any talk of conversation about raising black boys in America, or, you know,
No, you know what's funny? How in these times you see everybody coming out saying, you know, I remember the conversations my father had. You know, when you get out of your car, dude. I've never had those conversations with my kids. I never gave them, you know, you're black and you have to react like this, and you have to be respectful.
Right.
I understand that there are, you know, inequalities. You know what I mean? I understand. You know, there's white privilege whether you want it or not. You're gonna get it. You know what I mean? I've gotten pulled over a number of times. You know what I mean? But I got the benefit of being white in a car when the police walked up to me. So I got that automatic privilege or benefit. They don't come up to the car the same way if you're a black person. They're a little more hesitant. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are trigger happy, or they're scared. They're nervous. It's a tough time to be a police, or, you know, I don't know if there was ever, I'm sure there were better times, but now it's difficult times, and, you know, you never, you know, there's been plenty of police who walked up to a car and got shot. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of people who got shot for the wrong reasons in the car. I think we all know, you know, it's the wrong circumstances, the wrong person walking up to the wrong car, and the person in the car acting the wrong way. You know what I mean? Make a move and don't do something like somebody who goes back in the car for his ID. You don't lunge back. You know, don't make a move. Don't try. I think common sense comes into play more so than being black or white comes into play. And some people, common sense is not common for everybody.
It's not, because everybody don't have it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, listen, man, I would, you know, I mean, I know I get the break of being a white guy, but I'm not. When the guy walks in, I'm not going to lean over here and say, I'm just going to get this. You know what I mean? And make a move, because you know, white people get shot too. You know what I mean? I mean, we get the benefit, but, you know, these guys, you know, nobody. There's plenty of white people pulling out a gun and shooting at the police too. There's many bad people at everything, you know. So it's a tough time.
It is just a tough time. And I think so. My inspiration for the podcast was just to recant these stories that involves my journey through this single life. So as my dad, I'm a 34-year-old single woman, single mother also. What would be your...
I was 35 when I met your mom, so
right.
It's not over for you.
Well, thank God.
Of course, I had, you know...
I got one more year, y'all. One more year.
Yeah, I mean, I was 35 when I met your mom. I had been in some long relationships, 10-year relationship, 5-year relationship, and then I met your mom. And that's it. So, very long relationships. I've never been a player too much. You know what I mean? I had opportunities, not that many, but, you know, guys are, in my opinion, they're as faithful as their options are sometimes. You know, if you're created with a, you know, it's not a hard option when you're only only running into 5s and 6s. But if you run into an 8 or a 9, and, you know, the option's there, it's a little, you know, gets a little more difficult.
Right.
So,
well, you seeing and knowing the person, the type of woman that I am, what is your piece of advice, or what do you hope for me as your, because I'm the oldest and I got two marriages under my, 3, change it. Sharon was married, my sister's married, JC's married.
That's right.
If David get married before me, somebody call the people and check on me.
I think we all know if David gets married. Probably not. Listen, I'm the youngest of 7 kids. I've been married one time. Baby? I've been married one time. 73-year-old sister, you know, and my grandmother, my mom's mom is 77, so my sister could be my grandmother.
Wait a minute.
Marie's 73.
On the plate.
Tom
and your
72.
mom's mom was... Your mom's mom?
No. That's not, my sister is 73.
Who was 77?
Your grandmother's 70. How was she?
Oh, my mom's mom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was about to say, whoa, who in the world? I thought you were saying Marie and...
What's your grandma's name? Cecilia.
Corinne.
Who's Corinne? Oh, that's my kid's
Corinne
mother.
Steffens?
No, Corinne is... That's Jolene's mother's name.
Oh.
So that's my boy's grandmother.
Baby mama.
So, yeah. So anyway, I'm the youngest of 7. I had a sister who passed away several years ago. Had an aneurysm or a stroke or something like that at a health club. Go figure, right? Don't stop trying to get in shape, motherfucker.
Irony. No, I mean it really is. It's just like, when is your time to go? It's your time to go.
She was in like Curves or something like that. Some kind of place. And
I didn't know that tidbit.
Yeah. So I'm the youngest at 57 in August. Carmi will be 59 in December. Dominic is like 63. Barbara's like 68. I'm not sure if she saw this. She probably cursed me out or something. Let me say 67. So let me give her a break. And can't wait for the casinos to open back up again because she loves to play Keno on the poker machines. Yeah,
Keno on there?
Right. So anyway, my oldest brother, he's been married like 4 times, twice to the same woman. So he's in his 4th marriage. That's it. He's got a very.
What does that do to you? I wonder.
I don't know.
How does that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder. Like,
Barbara was married one time. Her husband died in a motorcycle crash by his house. My sister Marie's husband was Chicago police. He died. He was overweight. He had a heart attack. Both of her kids are Chicago police, both girls.
Oh, they follow in the footsteps.
Both girls. Dominic's been married twice. He had 4 kids with his first marriage, and he's got his wife has just 1 child, I think. And Carmi was married 1 time, long time. Been with this girl since he was like 15 years old, and they got divorced, you know what I mean? And I'm upset about that. Not that I know what the circumstances are. It's always, you never know from the outside. He's my brother, and of course he can, obviously, who's that? If there was a problem, it wasn't my brother. Right. You know what I mean? So, you always put it on.
It wasn't it.
Right.
It wasn't my brother.
Right. So it was very sad, you know what I mean, when they broke up. It wasn't his choice. It wasn't his choice. Yeah, I knew Sandy a long time. She's, and we still see her. She remarried. Carmi did not remarry. They got 2 kids, great kids. So I have a great family. And everybody doesn't have a. Everybody is not. What I'm not gonna say we're close. We get together every weekend. We seldom see each other. Right. My brother's got a lake house in Wisconsin. That's a nice meeting point. On holidays. Yeah. Dominic did very well for himself. He went to a seminary in Wisconsin for 3 years, which is seminaries where you like training to be a priest. They like you to say when you go there you're interested in joining a priesthood, but who really is like 17 or 16 years old? Like, I want to be a priest. Nobody's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not gonna be a priest. So he was there for 3 years. Got into some trouble, as children will want to. It was a small town in Fond du Lac. He got into some trouble in town, and they kicked him out of school. He finished his last year at Gordon Tech, which was right down the street from Lane Tech. Finished there, came back. Where'd he go? He went somewhere. He wanted to be a pharmacist, and he worked at a drugstore by the house. Then he got accused of something at the pharmacy, which he didn't do, and he quit that. And then he went to be a CPA. Certified public accountant, doing taxes and stuff like that. Did that. He had a good firm. He's done well for himself. He moved on from that to be a whatever he does at this other place now, and he's semi-retired. The Don is semi-retired. So Michael's in charge now. That's from The Godfather. But she's never watched The Godfather. Can you believe
But
this?
I understood the reference because I know who the Don is from.
Right. So when we go out to the lake house, there's always a lot of Godfather references.
I'm going to watch it one day.
Right. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that. And they say,
see, I don't know that. But I know what I know the cannoli is an Italian dessert, though.
Oh, yeah. Cannolis are great. Yeah. So, always funny to drop in a Godfather reference. You know what I mean? So, if you've ever seen, You've Got Mail, like, you're going to the mattresses. You know what that means?
Seen that.
Yeah, like from The Godfather. Why do all men know The Godfather? Because it's a tradition. Everybody, it's a great movie. Anyhow,
Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
Meg Ryan, right? I love Meg Ryan. It's Sleepless in Seattle, and it's a nice, they make a good couple. Yeah.
They did good in movies together as a couple. So we're a movie family, guys.
Yeah, everybody is. She's always making movie references and stuff like that all the time.
They
What's that from?
They've seen.
Right. If Colby was here, it would be a lot more interesting right now. Colby would shoot one in there. Yeah.
They've seen that. Well, this has been enlightening.
Yeah.
This is my longest interview, clearly, because
cigar
this is my
juice.
first guest. One of the things I admire, like, you're always just genuinely yourself. You know how they say, you know, and when Eminem came out, he's like, you know, this is who I am. You know, I can't help it. I feel like that's how you know, you never waver.
Right.
You're always David Fashoda at the end of the day.
Right.
No matter who it is, no matter who we're around, no matter where you go, you're always yourself. And it's important to be,
I love
Eminem.
I love 8 Miles. I'm obviously a little biased because, you know, it's easy to relate to. But I was always, you know, Biggie Smalls or Tupac, you know what I mean, or Jay-Z, or but you know, it's funny how when you think that black people should be good at something or white people should be good at something, and there's a black person that comes in, Tiger Woods comes in, you know what I mean? Even though it was a white sport, everybody loved Tiger Woods, you know what I mean? And so he dominated the same way the Williams sisters, you know, Serena came in and dominated that sport, you know what I mean? I thought Eminem came in and dominated rapping, as far as I'm concerned. He's top 5. Worst case scenario, he's top 5. You know what I mean? So it's nice when you can cross over and fill in that lane. You know what I mean? Vanilla Ice was not going to fit in.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. He wasn't going to be the savior. He was. He flopped.
Yeah, I mean,
we lost that one.
He's okay, you know what I mean? He wasn't like, that's our guy. You know what I mean? Eminem.
I mean, Ice Baby is still a hit. I'm a dance if it come on, but you know, it's what it is. But yeah, I think
Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice made a lot of money.
Hey,
still
man.
making money.
Well, that's the B word, guys. It's my dad in the flesh, you know.
Right. If you like this podcast and you want me to come back out again,
if you want
give
the
it a thumbs
podcast,
up and say, get that guy back out again, because he's really fucking funny. I'd really like to hang out with that guy.
Like it, comment down below, subscribe, tell your friends.
Give me his Facebook, which I don't have.
I'll put his Snapchat down below. He's a snapper, you know. I'll put a Snapchat information down below.
No Instagram, no tweet. I'm just
no tweet.
Not because I'm an old man, but I just don't have no reason to tweet right now. I Snapchat only because you know, tiny little segments when I was bowling, and now bowling's getting ready to start in another 3 weeks. So, give me a thumbs up and say, get rid of the B word and make
give my dad the thumbs up. Give it
my nickname is Fish because our last name is Fashoda, and it was always like that since we were all growing up. We all had that nickname Fish. So I
really?
Yeah, we all had it.
I didn't know either.
Right. My father's name was Carmen, and he used to call him Carp sometimes too. You know what I mean? So it was Carp and Carp. Plus, there was Pesh because Pesh is Italian for fish. You know what I mean? So whatever.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. And our name was supposed to be our name.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Our name.
Right.
Tell them that.
Fascia Leone.
Ain't that a cool ass name?
You know what? I met somebody the other day at the bowling alley, and I said the same thing. I can't remember what her last name. Her first name was Tara, and she said, "You remember my name?" Like Tara Piece of Paper. So I'm trying to remember her name the other day. I said, "What's her name? Ripa or something?"
Ripa?
No, it's
Ripa
Tara.
Piece of Paper. Rip a piece of paper. Cut a piece of paper.
So I said, she asked about my last name, and I said, it's Fashoda, used to be Fashion. I said, just like me, because she was, I don't know what she was supposed to, but everybody, you know what I mean? There was racism, believe it or not, against Italian. Any immigrants, there was racism.
Exactly.
So
you're not supposed to be here. You ain't supposed to be here.
If your name was, you know, anything that was construed as Mexican or Italian, you wanted
changed
to
that shit quick.
it to fit in more. So that's
I don't know how much Americanized Fashoda is, though. It still sound a little
but
you know,
but there's some of my family who are still named Fascia Leone.
Really?
And I would have rather grown up with that name, Fascia Leone, because I got some. Our last name is Fashoda.
Nobody would.
I got a lot of fish odor.
Right.
Fish odor. I'm like, yes.
That's so lame.
Yeah, I know. Well,
and everybody now tell me like, oh, for sure, duh. Yeah. Like that's so lame.
For sure.
For sure. Like for sure.
Yeah.
Fascia Leone, they wouldn't have been able to fuck with us. They were like, don't fuck with me, Fascia Leone.
But this is me being not drunk. I'm a lot more talkative and a lot funnier if I've had a few drinks.
More talkative than this?
Bit. Not really. Depends on what the topic is. Sometimes you go out. It's like going out with a girl.
That's how I am.
Or going out with somebody, and the freshness and the newness of a relationship, you don't know nothing about it, and then the conversation, bam, bam,
See,
bam,
that's
bam,
how
bam.
I am.
And you go out with somebody just sitting across the table like, you get
the sky's blue?
Right. You get that awkward silence like in Pulp Fiction.
Like,
you know
now
what? I mean?
what?
Like, don't you just hate those awkward
silences? That's right before she got up to bed. It's like they say, you know, it's awkward.
Yeah.
You know, everybody gets quiet at once.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction is a great movie.
It was a good movie.
Like, share, subscribe for Shoulders, the B word, and we're out.
Thank you.
This has been another.